And we're live.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, friends. Got a couple of you already waiting for us.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's good to see you here. Welcome back to Kidsplaining. We are on the Play the Game set.
Hold
Hold on a second.
on. That's not that one. Hold on.
Oh, boy.
Sorry if that was just really loud in your ears. Why is it not giving me
I don't know.
the option for that?
It has been a minute since we've gone live.
I went live like 2 weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you do live 2 weeks ago? Oh, yeah, when you were building the table.
That thing.
He was building this gorgeous thing. I don't know if they can hear us. Oh, she says we're back.
Okay, we're back. Are we super echoey like it's the...
But yeah, Dana was
There
building.
it is. Hold on, I'm going to switch to the Yeti.
You're going to switch to the Yeti?
Yep. Okay. Sorry to just tap in your ears, but I think we're back.
Yeah, Dana was building this table here that we're sitting at, so he did that live, just showing kind of his how he did this. Now this one's unique because like we have this here where we can put our arms, but he didn't put
Perfect
that on.
sound now.
Cool. He didn't put that on the front of
Yeah.
the table, so that we didn't have to look over that, so
Yeah.
the camera didn't have anything to interfere with the table. So you will see that I don't know if they can. Yeah, they can see. I've got tons of business cards sitting right here in front of me. So we are going to be kind of going through that as well.
If y'all don't ask questions, we're going to insert business cards into our contact management system. So
Yep.
here's a whole nother
everyone.
stack.
Oh my gosh! Oh,
Yeah,
and then
some
I
of
think
these-
there's still some sitting on our table.
Yeah, some of
in the
these are
kitchen at
from-
home because
are
I
from
found them.
packs.
I found them in our bag. If you follow our Instagram, yesterday I went live while the boys were doing school, and Dana was up here doing some just housekeeping. I went through all of our swag bags yesterday on Instagram.
Without me?
Without you. It's okay. We can redo it again with you there if you want. I just won't go live doing it. So on our Instagram, it's saved under like videos. I think I just saved it under there of going through. We had 4 full Haba bags. Now, if you know the Haba bags, they're like these giant bags. Awesome handles. They've got like an inside handle where you can hold it like this, and then you can also have another handle to put it over your shoulder. But they're giant. So we had 4 full Haba bags and then 1 square bag that was full of games that publishers sent home with us at the end of the expo. So it was really fun to go through there. I actually didn't know a lot of the games that were in there because you and Devin ran around at the end of the expo when I was filming the Horizons winners. That's the Horizons. They have this, I believe it's a scholarship, but they have where they've got publishers reaching out to. No, this is just hearsay. This is what I gathered from being at the event and photographing. That they kind of have young designers, young publishers, and retailers kind of being mentored. And so at the end of it, there was a scholarship for those. And so I got to film that. And I wasn't a part of any of these people's live or their experience or anything like that. And I got emotional when I was photographing the winners. It was very touching, and it was really fun to be able to experience someone getting blessed like that. So I love that type of thing. So yeah, while I was shooting that's when the expo hall was closing, and all the publishers started like breaking down their booths, and they had told us previously the last few days to run over there because they had some games they wanted to give us. It was a lot of games. I don't
Yes.
know if he's actually heard anything I've said
I
this
have.
whole time.
I'm
'Cause he's-
multitasking.
He's focused on that, and I just banter.
So the process, Suzanne asked how the process for hosted media. How
Yeah,
did it
that's
go?
all Daniel, because I was separate. I wasn't actually hosted media, even though I'm part of Kidsplaining.
Yeah.
Daniel and Devin went as the Kidsplaining hosted media.
Yes. So, I mean, the application process, we didn't actually get an application. We were, I think it seemed like their list was rather limited on media. So they sent out to a lot of the larger channels, and then the larger channels sent out kind of some other, like, to other content creators that they knew that might be interested. So we got it
Did you see it in a group
No, it was
on
actually
Facebook?
Jesse from Quackalope got the invitation, sent it to Devin, who sent it to me about 15 minutes after I actually finished our GAMA membership application.
Yeah.
So,
because we are
Yeah.
GAMA members, so that helps.
Yeah.
We are GAMA members for quite a few reasons,
Yeah.
actually. But just being a part of
Yeah.
all that's really, really awesome.
so the application process was fairly simple. It was a one-page just application online about who we were. If we were GAMA members, said it didn't matter if we were, but they might favor that, like as a tiebreaker or something. But it was just, who are you? Kind of, what are your main channels? Why do you want to go? What do you hope to get out of it? Stuff like that. And then I think on the
how many people ended up being hosted media?
I think there
Like
were 20. I think there were 20. I think they only had like 40 or 45 applications. They mentioned that at the
I have no doubt they're going to have way more applications next year if they do that again, because, I mean, I think overall everyone had a really, really great
I
time.
missed the first thing you said.
I'm just they're going to see it.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
only hear parts of what I'm saying.
So yeah, Allison, Better Half Reviews. They last year opened up a media level GAMA membership. I think it's the same. It's $300 to join GAMA at a media member. I believe the media members are non-voting members. Rachel is here. She can probably confirm that.
Yeah, that's true.
No one has asked me to vote on anything yet. So
I think yesterday was their big voting meeting. If I'm
I was not invited to vote on anything. So
I was not invited to vote, but I was involved in all of those GAMA meetings in halls, town
Yeah.
halls at GAMA, because I was taking photographs. So
Yeah.
I got little bits of information here and there. But yeah, and so
no, and so what the hosted media provided, it was originally going to be 4 nights at the hotel. They extended that to 5 nights. So we drove from Little Rock to Reno. It was about 30. The trip
30
up,
hours drive,
it was about
29.
30 to 33 hours driving. We swung by the Grand Canyon because if you're passing the Grand Canyon,
why not?
may as well
We were
stop up
we were
there.
gonna hike down into it. Devin really wanted to.
There was
And then
still
he
ice on the
left us.
ground. Yeah.
We were both wearing sandals and we're
Yeah.
holding onto the side and we're like,
Yeah.
nah, we're done. We're not gonna die falling into the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. So we left Friday night in a snowstorm in Little Rock, drove to, I think we stopped in there's nothing between Las Vegas and Reno.
Well,
Shockingly, there's one town with an actual
What was it
hotel.
called? Start with a T.
Yeah.
Cannot remember either. Again, sleep deprived.
No, media members can vote. Well, I don't know who to vote for, but
I actually have some I have intel. I could have voted.
so we got to GAMA Sunday night or Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, around 3:00.
Registration was between. I think we got mixed up. It was either 4 to 6 or 2 to 4. Either we got there right at 4.
We went and got our badges. There were fewer people there Sunday than I thought. But so the hosted media covers 5 nights at the hotel. So we got there Sunday.
No, it might change next year.
Yeah, we got there Sunday. We left Friday morning. It gave a $500 travel stipend that we will get once we offer our feedback, once the survey comes out. So that is after the event. Mm-hmm. So you do have to float your own expenses over there, and it's $500. If you're flying in, it might be more than that.
Did you guys?
And you're
have
still
box
responsible for food and
lunches?
stuff.
I thought
don't-
there was a. I thought they
The
said
application
that.
mentioned box lunches, and I think they had box lunches for
For
retailers that we
retailers, they
could have
did.
come and gotten. It's probably a little a little miscommunication in that. I was never, like, lunchtime came and went every day
Well,
for
and you
me.
had meetings
Yeah.
for lunches and stuff. He and Devin met with publishers and friends during the meal times. So
So Rachel said media members can vote, and they're looking for a media representative to serve on the board. So
I actually thought about it. I was like, if I had a chance, that would be really fun just to be able to
Alex
help.
is here from Board Game Co. Hello.
Hey!
Got to play a lot. If you go next year, carve out some
longer.
time to go to the... No, not just in general. Not just Alex.
I didn't get to
Alex
play
needs to
any
stay
games
longer.
with you.
But there is a great... I think next year's the last year it's at Reno. It's going to be in Louisville, Kentucky. Starting
Which would be
in
a much better
2024. Yeah,
drive.
better drive for us. But last year in Reno, go to the Glass Die. It's an awesome board game cafe bar thing.
Devin
We
and
played lots
Daniel
of
were
games,
like,
yeah.
we're taking you. You need to
Yeah.
put the camera down. We're taking you. And then Devin taught us how to play Dune Imperium, which I had a blast.
Yeah.
I've actually, I've thought a lot about that game since we played it, and I really want to play it again.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good game when it's like, I really, you're aching
Yeah.
to play it again. I really want to play that again. So yeah,
So that was the hosted media.
now I asked another media who was there, not as hosted media, and I was like, what was your take, being, because he had been before. I was like, from your just your perspective on being seeing what hosted media got versus what you did. What was the experience different? He didn't get any communication from GAMA, like we got emails. Right.
Right.
I mean, he checked
got
the email. I didn't.
Yeah, we got emails ahead of time from Rachel on behalf of GAMA, kind of letting us know who the other hosted media were, kind of a schedule of events, and there's still, I don't think the hosted media events were still open to
Non-hosted.
So hey Roberto.
Hey.
We're open to non-hosted media, just to general media members, and I only again.
And then
it was,
the app was available for everyone.
Yes.
So and that had stuff in it.
Yeah,
too.
they released the app a few days before, which for as quick as they got that out, it was
Rachel
surprisingly
lived breathed that app.
Yeah, it
and
was surprisingly non-buggy. It was really helpful.
What was nice is because throughout the week, especially like the presentations on Monday and Tuesday, there had to be flexibility because like one person couldn't make it because of a personal thing, and then like the app was constantly being updated versus it just being like in a booklet,
Right.
and you went, so you could always go to the app to see if it was updated. There was technical issues at the actual hotel throughout the entire
But there were
week.
hotel side issues,
Right.
not...
And Adam, he is with GAMA, and I cannot believe, I told him, I was like, I don't know how many fires you put out this week
No.
when it came to tech. He was just constantly going, putting out like just, it was amazing how gracefully he handled the technical issues. So
Yeah.
that was Adam. He was awesome.
So we got there Sunday afternoon. Sunday evening, we met Kim from Greater Than Games.
No, Good Games.
Good Games Publishing.
Games.
They publish
Land versus Sea.
Land versus Sea.
Funfair and Unfair. And
Amazing, sultry Australian voice. It was wonderful to sit and chat. But
it was so good to talk with him.
And the networking started like right off the bat.
Right off. And it did not end.
No, it was constant
until
all
Friday
time.
morning.
So yeah, Rachel seems to have had issues with the app. That was not felt on the user side from us. Everything was normal app issues. It crashed a couple times here and there, but
Now I didn't use the app as often as a lot of people because I got my itinerary from Rachel, and I was based like all my movements on that versus the app, because that had like where I had to be and when, as far as like photographing the speakers and things like that. So I didn't use the app as much as I know everyone was just on it constantly. So it was very utilized. I will say that.
So probably the biggest takeaway from GAMA was how to say things correctly, because it's all these companies. And I'm looking at I signed up for a meeting with Hatchet Games, and we get there and they're like, yeah, Hachette does this and that, and just hearing people introduce themselves to other
last
people
names.
whose last names you've been saying incorrectly.
I learned something new today.
Yes. So hearing people actually say their names instead of just reading their Facebook
But then
profile.
our name too, everyone says our last name is Burrell, and everyone pronounces it Burrell because that's how it looks.
Yeah.
And so it was also them learning our last names as well. It wasn't just us. So
So quick breakdown on just how the expo worked. because it's different. The only other convention we've been to is PAX, but I think PAX and
PAX
Gen Con and Origins and all those work fairly similar. But GAMA is a specifically industry side expo. It's the Game Manufacturers Association. It is primarily publishers and retailers. Publishers are there to pitch their games. Retailers are there to place orders for games. It was a yes, and also network and pitch
Tuesday.
Designers and all that. So I'm getting there.
Well, you weren't involved in all of the
No, but I'm
talks
going
and
through
stuff.
just
Okay.
the way it worked. So Monday and Tuesday were classes, panels, things like that. Wednesday morning, I have no idea what happened Wednesday morning. I think there were some
slept?
panels. There were some panels Wednesday morning, I think.
There were some panels.
But the expo hall was only open Wednesday afternoon and then all day Thursday. So
all day
yes.
Thursday.
And it is not
From 9 to 6.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So the purpose of the expo hall at GAMA, again, this is just my takeaway of it, is primarily for publishers to pitch their games to retailers, for retailers to be able to go around and see. And I know there were publishers had some meetings or some like meetings, seminars, things about their upcoming fall releases that aren't public yet. I didn't go to any of those. You were in and out of those taking pictures.
There's a few that I chose to sit in. Like I managed my schedule so I would miss the first part of it, but I was able to catch most of it. So I sat in the back of those.
But the
Very, very insightful.
Yeah.
I'm not a retailer or a publisher, but I felt like even just as a media and knowing more about the inside of the industry, it was very, very information. I mean, and if I'm going to be honest, I always had the desire we used to manage our own coffee shops when we first were married. And I thought it'd be really cool if we had a board game coffee shop someday when we're retired and our boys are off. I love the giving someone their coffee in the morning. That's something that I've always loved doing. And so playing board games and stuff. So it kind of gave me a little bit more of a nudge to like, hey, we could actually do this thing. And there's an organization that helps to promote this and people to support you and cheer you on. And it was just kind of like, hey, we could actually do this someday. So that's kind of my takeaway from the presentations. And there's so little retailers that were actually there.
Yeah.
Compared to what's out there. And so, like, if you're a retailer or wanting to be, this is where you need to be because people just are aching to cheer you on and support you. It was really, really cool.
And I would say if you're planning on going next year as a content creator, it is very different than it's not a place to get review copies of stuff. People aren't even really there looking for reviewers for their games. Obviously, if you talk to them about it, that's definitely a possibility.
And some of the publishers knew that media was going to be there, and so they did bring a few extra to give those out.
But for the most part, publishers had 1 or 2 copies of the games
or
to
their
show,
prototype.
Yeah, or their prototype. Now, at the end of the show, no one wanted to ship anything home, so they were just shoving games in people's hands.
We drove, and so we had the flexibility of having that much room.
But it was very much not the PAX thing of like, hey, I'm interested in the game you're doing. Do you have any copies available? I'm sure, and we had plenty say we can ship you one afterwards. But it is if you go as media, as a content creator, know why you're going. Be very intentional about the conversations you want to have. It's not a place to just go and ask people to review their games. Know the kind of relationships you want to build. And we went in with a plan that we had been working for a couple months of between the Play the Game is our new playthrough series. This is the new set. It's zoomed in more than normal, but this is the new set for Play the Game. So we're starting a new playthrough series. We have some things that we're doing to hopefully work with retailers on. So we went with a very clear plan of what we wanted to do.
And we set up meetings to do that. I didn't get to go to the retailer meeting.
Suzanne said it was very much the people side of the industry being developed. And that's the thing is like you had
it was all about the relationships. The whole thing was about networking, but establishing these relationships. And then after the event, getting to know people on a people level and not the industry level. Yeah. That's where so much happened.
Yeah. So there's at the resort in Reno, there is a bar. Rachel had told us about it ahead of time, but there's this round bar that everyone hangs out at after the actual programs, like scheduled stuff. And it's
I saw it last year when they did it online, GAMA Online, or the year before.
And it's a lot of deals being made. It's just filled with publishers and designers meeting and publishers meeting with retailers and things like that, and then just people sitting down talking and building relationships
and playing games.
Yes, and
we
played
games. We played fun games
Yeah.
while we were there, and it was after hours that we played Ahoy, which is Leader's new
Yes.
game, and
Now-
played Scout, the new game from Oink. That was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
And we also, now something that was not, and Rachel, this is kind of for you, just to put in your notes.
She said follow up. Yes,
Yeah.
follow up.
Yes.
That's why all of
That's
this
why we
is
have this giant mess of cards. So, but
we're planning on
something
doing.
that I think we knew, because we do a good bit of pre-work for publishers. We've signed NDAs with publishers. I don't know how common that is, but we have non-disclosure agreements where it's ingrained in us when we get a game that's not out yet or we haven't seen much on to ask, what's the embargo on this? Is there an embargo on this? What can we share? Or is there a date that we can't? Mm-hmm. I know from talking to some people that were there that as a formerly just industry and not media attended event, that publishers expect that, if they're carrying around a game you've never seen before, that no one's going to talk about it. That wasn't communicated with the media ahead of time. And I think I don't know of anything that got out that wasn't supposed to, but there was.
That got out, but it wasn't as big of a deal as some of the other things that I have not heard.
Yeah.
That they have gotten.
Yeah.
out yet
So
because,
you're going to get the opportunity to see things that aren't available yet. You also have the opportunity to destroy a relationship in about half a second if you post a picture of something you're not supposed to. So there is, if you go,
very conscious.
Everything you see that's not out in retail, just quickly ask, can I share about this? And make sure you log that or write it down somewhere and know what you can and can't talk about, because
one of the booths there was strictly sharing some prototypes, and I didn't take any photos of that booth. My whole thing on Wednesday and Thursday was take photos of every single booth that was there. I think I did 106 booths on Wednesday, and I did 61 booths on Thursday. It's a lot of booths. There was one that I did not shoot anything at that booth because there was not a way for me to take a photograph that I wouldn't get anything in it and possibly might spoil it. Communicated that with them, and they were like, they would have preferred that I did that anyway. So, these are their babies.
Yeah, and Rachel,
you have to respect.
And Rachel,
that.
It wasn't a big concern. It was just, I heard there was someone walking around with a game, and one of the other media people, I can't even remember, was like, oh, you're just carrying that around? And that person was like, yeah, everyone here knows not to share anything about it.
And they were like, we didn't.
So, but I think it very quickly got resolved. Again, it was a very small group of media people there. Mm-hmm. It was a great experience. But yeah, if you go as media, know why you're going. Know what and one of the really cool things.
You are going to get out of GAMA and any con, any convention you go to, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. If you go into it just going, I'm just going to twiddle my thumbs and just see who I talk to, you're not going to get out of it as much as you could. If you go in with a mission and an objective, and this is who I'm about, this is who I want to connect with, you make those connections. Gosh, that networking opportunity is going to blow your mind, and you're going to get out of it way more than you ever thought you could, which is what happened with us.
And I would say you don't have to be there yet. Like, we're not where we want to be.
No.
But know where you want your place in the industry to be, and have conversations to get you there. Don't go as just, hi, I'm a YouTube channel, I like to review game. Like, we passively review game. Yes, know who you are and know what you offer, and have. One of the best parts of this, for me, again, we are trying to be a strong industry asset. And we have, I do video production professionally. I run a production company with my dad. Allison has years and years of family photography experience. We are trying to be an industry asset because we feel like we fit better as an industry asset that makes stuff for the public versus just reviewers. So we went with that in mind.
No, we're fine reviewing games because we love games.
And that's part of being the industry asset, is letting people know what's
what
there.
You like
but we're developing some things that are very much to support the industry using the resources that we specifically and somewhat uniquely have at our disposal.
Right.
Like having a 7-camera studio to do playthroughs. I don't think there's a lot of that out there. So we went there with that in mind, and it was such a great experience because it was it wasn't at PAX and stuff like that. They're splitting their time when you go to a booth
with consumers.
when you go to a booth or meet with publishers at a consumer focused trade show, they're being inundated with people asking about their games. They're trying to make sales.
Right.
Like they are trying to make sales and sell all of the games that they brought so they don't have to send them back and so they can make money.
Well, they're trying to make sales at GAMA as well, but it's a completely different side.
But they're not.
wanting them to make
they're trying to
orders.
get people to fill out forms and place
Right.
orders. They're not trying to hard sell like, here, you just demoed this game. Would you like to buy it now?
Right. Now,
It's
I had
not
only
that-
been at PAX, so I
Yeah.
hadn't experienced that, but it was over and over and over again. I would hear, okay, let me have the form. And they were like filling out forms in the back where at the booth, most people had like tables where they
Yeah.
would sit down and like be writing out
Right.
all this stuff and information. That was really different. There wasn't quite this like display.
Yeah.
I mean, Ravensburger just had like
Yes.
a couple of white shelves and then a table in
Right.
there. It wasn't this like, come look at our booth. Look what we. Yeah, it was very interesting. Some booths like Fireside, they had
Yeah.
this big Castle Panic
Had
where you can like,
with a big foam dice,
which
and
is-
it was.
and that's what you expect at like those conventions
Right.
with consumers. Here, there wasn't all that like lights and smoke and all
Right.
that stuff. No, there was some. I think Warhammer. They had this giant,
Yeah.
just like.
And there were
Warhammer display. It was a
some
lot of
again
fun.
there, but it wasn't the like. For instance, Pandasaurus at PAX had a bunch of tables where people could play games, and Pandasaurus at GAMA was a table that
with
showed all
everything.
their games and a small table for Danny to sit with people and
The
talk
new
and have
game.
their
There
meetings.
was a new
Yeah,
game there. That she was
but it was
displaying.
not the same. Like, there's a bunch of tables and people are just playing games. They did have game nights and they had things like that for people to play games, but it was again, it is a B2B, business to business event. It is not a consumer focused. It's not a go and demo all the new hot games. Again, there's after hours stuff for that, but it's and probably one of the most beneficial things for me was they had it was a speed networking. We call it a speed
We
dating
call it
event.
speed dating.
But it was, and I would love
That's
to see.
kind of what it felt like.
Yeah, I would love to see that more at next year, like more events with different publishers. And it was just table with a publisher that had their game. It was a 6-minute kind of speed dating thing. They had 3 minutes to pitch their game. We had 3 minutes to pitch our services. But it was so, one, it was beneficial because it helped us kind of refine our pitch. But it was really nice as a content creator to be in an environment where people are expecting to be pitched versus PAX, where when you met with someone, 95% of their meetings with media, they're just being asked for a review copy of the game. They're expecting to be pitched a paid product or service.
Well, even like I know Rachel had mentioned this, but then a few other people who had worked booths at places like PAX U, where it was like, do I have the time? Because I'm trying to,
Right.
as a booth, like you're trying
Yeah.
to present and sell games. Do I really have the time to sit down with this media, this content creator? Is this worth my 20, 30 minutes of
Yeah.
time? Because they have a limited amount of time
Yeah.
there. So you're battling that at those type of conventions. At this one, they want to hear.
Yeah.
What they want to see, are we a good connection? They
Yeah.
want to know, and so that was really, really cool to have that meet and greet and be able to just
Yeah.
pitch both ideas. Now, something that Anne Marie from Fireside said that it would have been beneficial to kind of showcase all
Yeah.
of their games versus just like what they've got
And this was
coming
the first
out.
time they've ever done that. So it
Right.
was a publisher pitches a game and then the media pitches their services. And I agree, it would have been
To know
it would be
again if we
really
were even a better
beneficial to
match.
have publishers pitching their company and their line of games, and like I would take one of those a day, like an hour or two speed networking event,
Have a sip of your coffee.
multiple days. Like that was so beneficial for us.
One more. Hold on. I'm really tired.
So, and then they also had kind of a first look room where you got to see games coming out, and it was there was a lot of
didn't get to
overlook in
experience
that.
as a media
There were a lot of overlap in that, but it was just an
Okay, so new
Yeah.
games we saw.
new
that
games
we
saw.
can talk about. It was really, really Leader's new game, Ahoy.
Yeah, Ahoy.
Which
It's
was
a pirate.
it was a asymmetry game where
Yeah, it's
you
an asymmetric pirate game. There's
whereas 2 players, you are the mollusks which I played against Derek. I was the Sharks.
Play with Derek Funkhauser.
So he was
and
these
then
cute mollusks, and so we were it was like an area control.
It was you, me, Derek, and Grant Lyon.
Yeah.
So,
but you and Grant were the smugglers or the
so you have two players. There's two players that are area control. There's two players that are pick up and deliver, but the pick up and deliver, as you go along, you start wagering on who's going to control different areas.
Yeah, there's different islands, and
yeah.
you go, and it's kind of like you start out with a main island, and then you can go and explore,
Yeah.
and so you add different islands
map.
to it. Yeah, and so that was really, really cool
Yeah.
that you two could kind of wager at the end of the round who was going to win different islands. And yes,
But we also, the smugglers gain different abilities through the game to affect the area control part. So, and we only played a couple rounds. We didn't play a full game, but I'm excited about that because the route is asymmetric, and it takes it's super complex. It takes a while to play route well.
You play it three rounds or three games, and you feel like you've got a handle on it. At least one faction that you've played. Now this one, it's like
this one is going to be a really solid, really great intro asymmetric game.
That is very like the boys could easily play that.
Yes. So, and again, it's area control and it's pick up and deliver, and the more you play it, the more you're going to realize how much you can start to mess with other people, and
because there's cannons you can load in your
direction.
ship and you can battle and things like that. That was a lot of fun. When I don't care about I just want to learn the game, I will be rather aggressive when it comes to so my first move I was like, we're battling this out, so I went and attacked, I think it was Grant, that I attacked his ship, and it was just to kind of feel it out, because I've learned the more games you play, if you're timid when you're learning a game, you don't really get the full feel of the game. Right. So I'm more of the aggressive player. So that one was a lot of fun. And that same night we played Scout. That's what I mentioned. It's the new Oink games. That one's very interesting. And if you when you get your deck or your hand of cards and you want to organize it, you can't.
Yeah, you can't. The way the cards are dealt is the way you play it. It has different numbers in opposite corners, so you can flip your hand at the beginning of the game, but once you start, you have to play your hand as it is. You can play sets and runs, and and if you can't play anything, you can take one of the end cards from the cards that are on the table, but you're trying to, without organizing your hand, get rid of all of your cards. Yeah. I rocked that game.
You were awesome. I liked it. I did not do well, but I think it was probably the third round that I was like, oh, I get it. For some reason, it may have been, I think I had a glass of wine, which that may have been why. That could have been it. But it made the connection, because I couldn't understand when they were saying you can flip it upside down. And I was like, well, after we start, why would I flip it? Because I'm committed. And then it was at the beginning. Yeah, once you get your hand, you can make the choice to either which side do you think you could get rid of your cards easier. And say I had a 1, 2, 6, 4 in one area. I could take out the 6 and play it. So then I had 1, 2, 6, 3, 4, something like that. If I take that 6 out, then I would have a run. Yeah. And I could lay all 4 of those down just instead of just one.
And when you pick up a card from the table, you can put it anywhere. So you could have picked up a 5 and put it with that 6 to get a 2-card run.
That's true. You could do that. And it's about getting money and things like that. But yeah, that one was fun.
Yeah.
We played another one that night.
We played Wonderland's War.
Yes, that was a long game, but that was
Matt
our fault.
from Skybound. That was just doing Matt a favor, so he didn't have to demo that game again.
That was a lot.
He was a
of
trooper.
Fun.
He taught that game a lot. But yeah, we played that. We're doing a playthrough for the Play the Game for
right
that.
Here.
We have it sitting at home.
It was here it was at home when we got there, and that one was fun. I love Alice in Wonderland theme, but I'm a little biased.
Oh, yeah.
Because I used to think her name was Alice in Wonderland.
That was her first and last name.
Yeah, because my name is Allison, and so I was like, that's Yep. So I really like Alice in Wonderland theme.
I played shockingly few games. By the end of the day,
you played more than me though, because you went to the Glass Die and you guys.
Yeah, I played one roll. I don't even know what it was called. Played one roll and right. Oh, we played French toast. We played French toast with
Bluebeard.
Yeah, with Bluebeard. I'm blanking on his name. The designer of French toast and That Time You Killed Me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. There was a game night every night, but by 9 o'clock, I was just not up for the noise.
And I went in the evening. I was throughout the day. I was editing photos, so I didn't get behind, and so I would go and kind of take some pictures, and then I'd be like, okay, I gotta crash. Yeah. Just because I was up the next morning to take more pictures, but it was it was a lot of fun. It was a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Like, we were pretending we weren't adults with kids, and we staying up till like 1:00 in the morning, which is not. My bedtime is like 8:30 every night, you guys.
Yeah, no, we didn't get to play Libertalia. We wanted
No.
to, just didn't get the opportunity.
No, Alex said he was gonna
Yeah.
send us a copy of it
Yeah.
because I'm really interested in the game. I really would like to get the older version as well, and play just to compare
Yeah.
the two. But I think I know someone who has it that might let us play.
And what was really nice about this event was meeting. Well, one, you're always talking to someone who has some sort of importance. Whether they're at some level, like at PAX, when you went to a booth and asked questions, you honestly didn't know if you were talking to someone who worked for the publisher
Sorry,
or for
Allison thought the same thing.
or if you were just talking to demo staff who actually had no say in the decisions and didn't know anything beyond how to play the game. So
Well, except for
that
at
was-
PAX, we ran into at Floodgate. We
yeah,
went up and it was
yeah.
like
Then you
Ben
have
and
booths
Ian
like
were like,
Floodgate,
so
and it's like the owner and the marketing manager,
which was
but-
unusual.
Yeah, but there were plenty of booths that had like, and we were part of the like we worked booths at PAX. So
Yep.
where you don't really know who you're talking to at this, you were talking to someone at some level who knew at least where to guide you for your questions. And again, it was just great to meet more of the behind the scenes people. So like Pandasaurus, we work with Danny at Pandasaurus.
All the time.
Danny is our pretty much exclusive contact there. But we got to meet Nathan and some of their other people working there, and that was great just to get not to like gain influence with Nathan, but just to meet.
To have a face
To meet, yeah,
and
to actually
meet
be
people.
able to shake his
and
hand
like
and
Bree,
say, yeah.
we've had video conferences with Bree all the time, and actually like hug Bree,
Yeah.
and then like with Sean and Vince came,
Yeah.
and I mean with Kim, like all
Yeah.
these people that it's like
That we've
I
had
know
emails
you.
with.
Jen from Keymaster,
Yeah.
and like we've although we met
Yeah.
Jen at PAX
Yeah.
U, but just seeing people and more people that we can actually like touch.
Yeah.
Like you're real. You're not
Yeah.
just on the other side of the screen. We experienced that at PAX U, and we experienced it again because we entered this industry when quarantine
Yeah,
hit.
yeah.
Like that's when we started. Was 2 years ago. Next week
Yeah,
will be our 2-year
beginning of
anniversary.
April, I think was when our first video
So
posted.
we're still babies in this whole thing. We luckily have been cheerleaded and supported like we could never have dreamed.
Yep.
Ross, at the time he was with the op, and he is a huge cheerleader. T, who used to be with Haba. Speaking of which, T has a really cool nonprofit that they're starting, which is really this shirt I'm wearing. I actually wanted to give. It's the You Got Me at Bits
Yeah.
shirt because
Oh.
they're collecting bits and stuff to give. Anyways, but just we have been surrounded by people that are like, keep doing, keep
Yeah.
going. You're doing great. Keep it up. Don't slack. Keep going. And that we got abundance of again
Yep.
this time, and we feel motivated and.
And
It's been amazing.
go into this again if you're going to go next year. I think PAX is not, and the outward facing conventions are not really a place to go as much to be teachable, to learn, to kind of refine what you offer, because it is quick meetings. You're getting to know what's going on. You're seeing games,
Yeah,
but
you
you're
need
not.
to talk
yeah.
to people before that.
Yeah.
Like, what
But-
do I need? People who have been before, how
Yeah.
can I prepare myself? That you need to
Right.
know beforehand. Well, and this too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you, so I don't really know where
yeah,
you're going.
but at
with that.
GAMA, like, go if you have the chance to go to GAMA next year. Go in. One, like I said before, know what you offer and know what you want to do, but listen more than anything else. When you have the opportunity to pitch,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the great thing about that speed dating thing, is that happened before the expo floor.
Yeah, it
And
did.
again, none of those people at the expo were really there for me. They were there for retailers. They were there to get bulk orders placed for games, not sell games and hand out review copies. So to have a chance to refine our pitch, be comfortable giving out pricing, and
That's something
do
that
all
we
of
are
that,
uncomfortable
and
with,
do all of that
honestly.
in 2 or 3 minutes was super beneficial prior to the expo floor, where we're now going around and trying to find a time where we're not interrupting someone trying to sell their games, but to be able to say what we offer, get a card, and then now follow back up with it. But also to talk to the people that you want to offer your services to and hear what they need and how that's different than what you're offering.
Yeah, we actually changed
we
gears to some
changed
things that we're doing.
We went in with
Because
some
we're
really
listening.
big ideas and got the chance to pitch those to people and to talk to for what we're hoping to do for retailers, and got to talk to a big group of retailers, and they said that sounds great, but this is what we really need. Now
It
we
was
could
over
have,
and over going. They were saying the same thing. So
And-
obviously we need to
yeah.
listen. And so
And-
we're redirecting.
Yeah. So if you want to, again, there's hundreds of reviewers in this industry. If you want to break out and you want to have a place in this industry, listen to what people want and figure out how you can offer that and how you can set yourself apart, how you can be different, but just do not go to it expecting to just ask for review copies, ask for know what you offer.
And you need to be
And
careful
then-
doing that with
yeah.
any convention.
Yeah. But I know that's a lot of content creators go and are hoping to go cover, and I keep saying ask for review copies, but just to go cover games. That's an important part of this and being able to see what's coming, but just be open-minded, be teachable. You are going to have more opportunity to sit down and talk and network with the core of this industry than at any other convention. Because
And
even
I've
though
heard that, but I think actually experience it and was like, wow, that is exactly what this was about, is just people making time for people and learning and listening. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
and also understand that long term the relationships you build are more important than getting a chance to pitch your services. So that was
Yep.
it was really realizing when you're sitting at the bar and a publisher or someone comes and sits down and just starts talking, that's not when you pitch your stuff. That's when you get to know them.
You did do that to Robert
after a while when he told me to.
That's true, you did.
But you're building relationships.
How
and
we have 3 of Mike Young's card.
I don't know. We all got one and they all got
Oh, is that how
But you're building relationships, and again, you're going to be much better off following up with someone you have a relationship with than pitching to someone who doesn't know you from
Adam.
Yeah.
Or from Family Meeple or Meeple Family, or there's so many of those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
go in and just meet people. And that was the highlight of this entire trip, was meeting Sean
Other
and Helena
content
from Kids
creators,
Table.
though.
Yeah, other content creators, but just meeting. And we saw a lot of content creators at PAX, but there were, I think PAX was still at a time when it was about half and half publishers going and publishers still not quite ready to go. And it was a much smaller, I don't know how many people there. It was under 1,000 people, I would say.
I think this is the first convention that the op has been to since
Yeah.
quarantine.
But it was just a great opportunity to sit down and meet people and network with people and to meet all of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you're necessarily it's not a chance. Don't try to backdoor into the higher ups. Still interact with the people you're supposed to interact with. That's their job, to interact with you. But to at least know the higher ups in these companies, the owners of the companies, the people above the marketing people, and just to build those relationships.
Yeah.
There were 1,400 total attendees.
Wow.
It
okay.
was super spread out. Even
never
the
felt
expo
like
hall never felt
It was
super crowded.
It was very spread out.
Yeah.
Rachel, you'd be disappointed. I don't think there's one photo of anyone on here. Maybe they're cartoon, but there's no photo. These people, they need to change it if they
Yeah.
went to your little seminar thing. Put your photo on your business card.
Our photo is on our business
Yes, it
card.
is. Our photo is on our business card.
Yep.
You put your photo on your business card and then put a QR code so people can find you like that. And
Yep.
no one here went to your seminar, so they'll change it next year, hopefully.
Have a one sheet with
Noobs.
with as much non-changing information as you can. We didn't want to throw out a bunch, so we were giving out one sheets from packs that had different stats and things like that. All our offerings, all the text was the same, but the the reach
we
stats
we
were
reprinted
different.
some.
We reprinted
just
some.
handed out
we go,
way
gave
more
those
than
out
we
fast.
did
Yeah.
at PAX. And
Hey,
also,
Matt.
if you're handing out a one sheet and a business card, get one of those small staplers that you just keep in your bag and just staple it together.
I tried to get a little retractable thing so that I could just have a stapler handy at my belt side, and she would not let me.
No.
And then we had
And
someone
then you
tell
probably
us,
could have used it.
had someone tell us, hey, if you're going to have a one sheet and cards, carry a stapler with you. And I'm like,
Which I had one.
You had to go back and get it.
But I had one.
Right. But it wasn't right here. It could have been. And then you just let
Next
it
thing
go.
he's going to do is get a pocket protector.
I don't want a pocket protector. Probably when I start carrying pens might be nice. But yeah.
Hey, Matt's here.
That's
I'm
what
going to email you later.
That's why I said, hey, Matt, like 30 seconds ago.
I'm sleep deprived. I can't even say deprived, you guys. I was catching up on sleep from GAMA,
Yeah.
and then we were up all last night because of that storm was nuts.
And if you're getting business cards, uprinting.com, the letter U printing.com is the best
They're
value.
really
In fact, you
good.
can get like 1,000 business cards, two-sided, full color for like $40.
No, they're
With
normal
shipping.
weight.
It's
Normal weight. They're not like the fancy weight stuff. You can get that. But yeah, for what they have is
that is the
very
best
good
value, having like shopped around printers. If you have a local place you like that's affordable, do that. But yeah, I mean, just that is and I don't have a referral code or anything, but just uprinting.com.
Not sponsored.
Yes, is the best value for printing stuff. So yeah.
Yep. We also.
If you have questions, if you want to know anything, definitely
I'm
let us
trying
know.
to think of what. So when we got home, we had a few games sitting on our table. We had.
It was a 30-hour drive back home. Also,
Yeah. Yeah.
it wasn't just 30 hours.
No,
it was like
more than that because we lost 2 hours.
we lost 2 hours.
I guess
Now,
it wasn't more than it. Just
on the
felt more.
GPS. It was 28 hours going out there and 26 coming back. So I think we were going downhill. So that made it faster.
GPS counts for cruising.
Yep.
Although we were telling Rachel this. We saw donkeys on the way back because when
Yeah.
you're
We went Tinoco. That's
yeah.
so there is. When we were going up, we wanted to stay as close as we can to Reno, but not actually stay in Reno because
Yeah.
expensive. So
because it's expensive.
yeah. So there's this little town called Topino, and it was the only place that had an actual, like, it had a Comfort Inn. Everything else was like
nice.
Fred's alien themed motel.
Which
'Cause it's Nevada.
Who was it? No, Tony. CGE.
Yeah.
He stayed at one
Yeah,
of those.
Tony from CGE. We were having
were
a
the same
conversation about
place.
getting there. He's like, yeah, I was in Topino last night. I was like, well, Stu. It's like, I got in at like 30. We're like, at 9:30. We're like, we did too. You stay at the Comfort Inn? He's like, nope. I stayed at that weird motel.
the one we passed that was
But
really
then
scary.
coming back, it took.
It doesn't take you through Topino
It took us.
because you don't need to though.
Devin's great. He might be a donkey sometimes, but yeah. So
Sometimes.
then
you can be a donkey sometimes
I
too.
know. But then we were coming back, and it's like, hey, you're driving down 95, turn right onto an established highway, and
Devin was actually driving, and I have to.
no, I was driving there. No,
when we were,
Oh, yeah.
he was looking out the window. He was like, it just told me to turn on a road that's not.
no,
a road.
this was before. Like, it turned us off the main
Okay.
highway,
I
and
was
then we get
asleep.
into
I
this
was
little
asleep.
like mining town. And it's like turn left, and there's nothing there. There's like
was
what
like, I
looks
can't
like a
turn.
driveway that goes around behind somebody's house. And when I say mining town, I mean it was a mining town like 50 years ago. There were zero signs of life in most
There
of
were
the
not
towns we
even
drove
chickens.
through. Like, this was 20 miles past the sign that said next gas 100 miles. Like, middle of
And
nowhere.
then there was like handwritten signs
Yeah.
like Las Vegas this
Yeah.
way. And we're like, we're gonna
But then
die.
off in
We're
the
gonna
distance,
die.
we could see a car driving and like the dust up behind
It
its
was
wheels.
probably Julian Robert.
Probably so. So we were like, okay, well, let's just cut across this little dirt road because there's a main road over there. So we cut across to another dirt road, which is where that car was, and we're
it
looking
had-
on our
it had
GPS.
tires to
Terrible-
mark
yeah.
where the road was
Yeah,
going.
terrible cell reception, so we can't even get like accurate GPS.
We're gonna die.
So we go down, we're like, okay, it looks like the highway's over there. So we get to it, and it's a very nice dirt
It
road.
was kept.
But it was
well
a
kept.
very nice dirt road. and there was
in
like
the middle of the desert.
yeah, and a couple like we passed a giant dump truck carrying something, and then there were like 3 people drilling a hole in the ground off to the right, way off in the distance. And then we drove
GPS
about
said that there were lakes, but we didn't see
and then
any.
we drove about 20 miles, and then there was a handwritten sign that said Las Vegas and an arrow, like, and then a sign that said wild donkeys, and then there were in fact wild donkeys.
Right. Okay. So the whole way up, we'd see like, oh, elk signs, which we did see elk at the Grand Canyon, and it was like wild horses, which we did see wild horses. What didn't we see that was there? Probably just normal
We
deer.
the antelope.
Antelope
or something.
Oh, Julie said to watch out for the antelope. But then there was like donkeys, and I was like,
Yeah.
cool, donkeys. And then there were actual, like, a lot of wild donkeys out there. It was so cool.
And
They
it
were
was,
adorable
we
and
were-
fluffy, and
We
they're
were
scary, so I
joking
didn't
about
get out.
like, if this car coming kind of blocks the road and starts to get out, we need to turn around. But there was also a hint of like,
a little
this
serious.
may be,
a little seriousness in the fact
this
that
handwritten sign to Las Vegas
may not
might
be
be
getting home.
leading us somewhere other than
a
Las
handwritten
Vegas.
sign. It was
But
scary.
it was, but we made it out. It eventually got back to paved roads, and we survived, and
We did it. We made it home.
And then 3 hours later, we got to Las Vegas, and then like 20 hours later, we got to Little Rock.
Yeah, we drove straight through,
Yeah.
which I will say, like a lot of people, 30 hours is a lot. I'm not even going to bat an eye at. It was a lot. But with no children and three
adults that can
could
switch.
drive,
Yeah.
most of my job the way back, I drove almost the whole third the way up. Like I drove
Yeah,
a
we
good
swapped
chunk.
off a lot.
But this last one, I was more responsible for sitting in front with who was driving between Daniel and Devin and just like keeping them talking.
And the longer we drove, the angrier Devin's music got.
This is true.
So, it was great to meet you too, Susanna. We will definitely be in touch.
Yes, I'm emailing you too this week. Or I'm emailing Alex, but he'll...
Yep. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, this is awesome. I've got 2 boys that are probably wrapping up on their lessons. They did play, we'll have their unboxing of Marvel Dice Throne going up tomorrow.
Yes, we have the retail edition of Marvel Dice Throne. We have the unboxing coming soon. We're doing a tutorial for that. We have the unboxing of...
Smash Up.
Yeah, our first look at Disney Smash Up and a tutorial coming for that.
Those are some fierce looking Disney characters right there.
Yeah, we have a Play the Game coming for Wonderland's War, Chronicles of Avil.
It's a Wonderful Kingdom.
It's a Wonderful Kingdom from Lucky Duck.
We're still live, but you can
The
say
King
hi.
of the Dice, the board game.
Okay.
Yeah, we've
Close the
got
door.
a lot of fun
A lot of fun
stuff
stuff
coming up.
coming.
The playthroughs are going to be coming out pretty quick now that we have the studio set up and we don't have to take over our living room.
We
That's the
already
camera
have-
we're using,
that's-
so if you
yeah.
walk in front of that, it's just going to be your big face. Oh, there's Peyton.
Hello. We already have shot coup, which Daniel
Yep.
taught us coup.
Devin.
Hello.
Devin taught us.
Devin
to.
taught us coup. one of
Yep.
the D's.
We sadly, because we also did the iSchool on the way up.
No, that wasn't sad that we did it. We had
No,
a lot of fun playing it.
We had a lot of fun playing that. Sadly, on the way up, we shot multiple Willet
From
card game
Topino,
segments.
is that how you say it?
Tanopo.
Tanopo to Reno.
Yeah, we played.
I drove a good bit.
We played Rhino Hero Super Battle. We played a modified version of iSchool, and we played Suspend. And all of it was blurry, and we had the
It was
camera.
blurry?
It was a little out of focus,
Oh, I didn't
and
know that.
the camera was mounted on the underside of like a rack in the
And these
ceiling.
were dirt.
Yeah,
they
it
weren't
wasn't dirt, but
road,
it was-
they were like
yeah.
lower.
Lots of vibrations, so I don't think any of that is usable. We got some phone stuff. We'll do some shorts with it.
It was
but
hilarious.
Modified iSchool on one. So we
They
we
were
took
like,
three
"This
of
is
the
actually
boxes.
really
yeah.
fun."
We took 3 of the boxes and put them together. Mm-hmm. So there were 2 exits just completely out of the play area.
Daniel had made a table
Yeah.
for the back of the van.
Yeah, I was strapped down to a clothes basket, but it worked really well. But we just put all the fish over the doors, and if you went through a door, you got a fish. You're just scoring points. But if
Because
you
it's
went,
not a 2-player game.
But if you went
So he
out
made it 2-player.
of the board, then you had to put
You
a
lost
fish
the
back.
fish, yeah.
Yep. But just driving
But I was
down
turning.
it was windy
Those
back
mountain
roads.
roads.
Just having the penguins slide everywhere. It was a lot of fun. Like, if you're gonna create a table and play games in the car on the highway, do ice cool. It was well worth it.
They had a blast. I didn't play that one. I was feeling kind of sick because in order to be in the back of the van, we had to take the middle seat out to put the table, and so we were sitting in the very back. And I'm usually okay sitting in that first behind, but I was feeling a little sick focusing on the game. So Devin went back there with Daniel and played Rhino Hero Super Battle, which they got to the 4th level.
Yeah, we got 4 levels, and then Allison missed a turn and had to slam on the brakes.
No, I didn't miss a turn. Okay, the GPS looked like it was just a little S.
But it was.
No, I didn't miss it.
You slammed on the brakes.
Yeah, because I thought it was just...
2 levels survived the first brake slam, and then the rest was just...
I'm a good driver, I promise.
On the turn, it was just... It demolished the whole thing.
It was fun.
But, yeah.
Not the almost, like, missing my turn, but it was a lot of fun just listening to them.
Yeah.
All right, I got to get... these boys, I got to make sure that they did their lessons okay, because again, we homeschool. Yeah. And then you have a lot of work to do here.
I do. I have a lot of cards to put into our
because we've got content creators, we have business, we have publishers, and then we also have a lot of retailers that we are staying connected with and going to connect back with in the next week or so. So we've got a lot to do, and then we got a lot of games to play.
Yep. So
a lot of games. If you're interested to find out what we ended up bringing home, what content we're going to be putting out there, you can go over to our Instagram and check out the latest video that it's not the latest because it was their little Peyton saying that he thought that Thor's last name was Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But the one before that where I'm just going through bags, that is what we got. And then I did a little recap of just how I thought GAMA was just from me personally.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
so, and if you think anything that you want to know, just go ahead and leave it in the comments of this video and we'll answer. But yeah, it was a fantastic experience.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for
Rachel did an awesome job.
Yeah.
I know she's only worked for GAMA for like 3 weeks, but in my headcanon is that they hired her and they were like, hey, we'd like to do an expo this year. And she was like, cool, I got it.
I got you.
And handled everything. Because I don't know anyone else there. So, but Rachel, you did an awesome job covering every single aspect of the expo. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic. It was good. The app was great. I know.
Gosh, I'm sorry, guys.
I know when you're doing it, you see all the stuff going on behind the scenes that's frustrating or not going right. But from an outside perspective, and especially just first time being there, it was great. Cigarette smoke.
Yes. It's a casino.
We're in Arkansas where you can't smoke inside or within 15 feet of a public entrance of a building. So we don't smell cigarette smoke unless we want to. So that was different. So
yeah,
that
there was
a couple
people that had a really hard time. We did wear masks the whole time, but I mean, you can still smell stuff.
If you go next year while it's still at the pepper mill, expect cigarette smoke everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Bring cough drops.
Yep.
I wonder if we're going to be using masks again.
I don't know. Hopefully this is all past and we're not, but who knows?
That's the dream.
Yeah.
That's the dream. All right, you guys. What's today?
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. Have a great rest of your Tuesday and whenever you're watching this. And have a good week.
Yep.
So this was fun. Thanks.
I suppose you want me to end this now?
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of where I'm wrapping this thing up.
Okay, let me get the... All righty, we'll see y'all later.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.